Asian Agricultural Products Limited was a Hong Kong corporation, but at this time, Hong Kong was still a colony of Great Britain, so Asian Agricultural Products counted as a British corporation. Great Britain and Sri Lanka had concluded a bilateral investment treaty in order to facilitate British investment in Sri Lanka. Asian Agricultural Products had invested in a shrimp farm which was located in the east of Sri Lanka. By the late 1980s, that part of Sri Lanka was under the control of the Tamil Tigers, a separatist guerrilla group. Sri Lankan government forces undertook counter-insurrectionist operations and the shrimp farm was destroyed. Asian Agricultural Products wanted compensation from the Sri Lankan government for their loss. The bilateral investment treaty included a provision which stated, "A state on whose territory an insurrection occurs is not responsible for loss or damage sustained by foreign investors unless it can be shown that the government of the state failed to provide the standard of protection required, either by treaty or under general customary law, as the case may be." What this meant was that if Sri Lanka had provided the appropriate standard of protection, then it could not be held liable for the investor's loss. What then was the appropriate standard of protection? The tribunal looked at a range of academic writings and concluded that the violation of international law entailing the state's responsibility has to be considered constituted by the mere lack or want of diligence, without any need to establish malice or negligence. In other words, this was a very low bar. Even without being negligent, a country could be held to have failed to provide the appropriate standard of protection. In this particular case, it emerged that there had been the possibility of negotiations to exclude the shrimp farm from the counterinsurgency operation, but no attempts had been made to do so. The tribunal found that Sri Lanka, through said inaction and omission, violated its due diligence obligation, which requires undertaking all possible measures that could reasonably be expected to prevent the eventual occurrence of killings and property destructions. As a result, Asian Agricultural Products was entitled to compensation. They did not obtain nearly as much compensation as they hoped. From this case, we learn that the standard of protection required for foreign investments in each nation is the undertaking of all possible measures that could reasonably be expected.